Sunday. You already know here in Southern California, it is a sunny day, actually. It is a nice, warm day. Beautiful day to be out and about and enjoying yourself on this long weekend, this Memorial weekend. Let me just set this up. Whoopsie. But we decided to hop on, see what the talk of the town is going down. We're in the curb, you heard me. Whoopsie. Okay, now move this over here. All right, we straight. Now, oh shit, what's crying like a dashboard? I've been feeding my boy. We chilling, you already know, like a villain. Just trying to move this shit really quick out of my way. Waiting for another creep. I know. The reason, what's crying like a Mr. Pasa is definitely up in the casa for the raza. Yeah, it's because I had already did 2 different ones, a part of the ones that got taken down before. And they didn't let me upload those either. Well, one of them, it didn't even upload to begin with, right? And then the other one got taken down. They got blocked. But that one wasn't because of the rapper, because it said, who's the one. And it was actually by the channel that it was uploaded to, that video, the channel that the video was uploaded to. I guess they have the right to that video. So people could only view that video on their channel. So that's, I guess maybe when they work with the rapper, like, hey, hey, we'll throw your video out there, right? It must have been in the agreement that they had, right? For publicity, right? Well, for them to like advertise them, I guess. They own the rights to, playing the video. Which I actually had to do some research and read up on all of that right before I challenged the penalty, right? And I was like, all right, it makes sense. Because sometimes it's by the actual artist, and sometimes it's by different channels, right? And then they give you the reasons for all of it. I'm telling you, it's a whole lot of YouTube bullshit that happens behind the scenes. It's not so cut and dry like people think it is. Like there's obstacles that we have to hop over. Which is like fucking A. So we're trying though, but I did notice that it's a lot more difficult for the brothers music than it is for the actual raza. For the raza, it's a little bit more of a smoother process. Now that I'm actually now reacting to the brothers, right? It's a little bit more difficult. Get some interviews this week, so I'm gonna try different. That's right, my boy. I feel you. Was cracking like an angel? Did you hear about 6ix9ine being kidnapped by fake cops, but he ended up calling the real cops on them? Why would they kidnap him though? He ain't got no money. Like that's the last person you want to kidnap, bro. Bro, he's still in debt to the IRS. Sometimes it could be by the record label, not just the artist. No, actually, it was actually by the channel because of the video rights. I guess I could probably react to the song, but without the video, I probably could do it that way. I didn't even think about that until right now. But I feel like people are more in tune when there's a video playing. For some strange reason. I don't know. I just dig the music because of the music, but other people just dig the videos instead of the music. Some people don't even like the songs. They just like the song because of the videos. Rappers know that. That's why they throw a bunch of, shit that would just get people just like stuck on the fucking screen. Said hi. Hello there. What's good, Parker Humphrey? The freestyle was dope. What's also? Free Diddy, so my baby oil stock. Bro's trying to get that baby oil back since that fool has all of it. That fool's a sponsor. It's not real baby oil unless it came from Diddy. Just so that you know. Whoopsie. Why do some YouTubers think going to prison will earn them more respect when, if anything, it makes them look stupid and getting caught? I don't know, bro. To be honest with you, I've been trying to, understand that myself. It's like they feel like, that, and like I said, just keep in mind though, real homies that actually been incarcerated, right? They never act like these individuals. They never talk about, where they were at or bragging. They don't behave like that. I'm telling you, bro. None of my OGs ever behave like that, bro. They hardly even talk. You know what I mean? They just sit quiet and just observe everything all the time. They don't behave like that, bro. These individuals, it's something else, bro. It's like they're craving the attention, or they like the attention that they're getting. You know, they like the respect, maybe because they felt like that they didn't have any respect because of how their careers ended, right? Like because they went out bad, right? Maybe it was just eating away in them, right? So now a bunch of people now showing them respect, kind of like it's like it's like now they're getting what they were missing, type of shit, or what they missed, even though it's all like fake, right? Because they're gaining it off of lies, but because if these individuals really didn't care about their situation, and they're already past all of that, and they don't care no longer about that, then they would have no problem saying about their career and how it is, right? Or like, oh yeah, well, they would come on here and they'll be like, oh yeah, well, I'm no good because I told, it happened. Then it's like, okay, so he admitted it, and clearly, he's now moved past that and everything like that, right? But when they try to come and act and say, and to top it off, say that it's actually because of a different reason, right? Okay, so it's like, okay, no, why are you lying now about the real reason then? Like, that doesn't make any sense. Unless you still want to be seen as gangster then. So you haven't moved on. And don't get me wrong, because I know it's hard to survive in there when you're an active. No, I know, yeah, but like I said, that's not something that these individuals floss around because they're looking to gain respect. Though you get what I mean? These individuals, because I guess it seems to bring them their growth of their channel, right? And the growth of the channel means their revenue, right? So maybe that's what it is, a desperate attempt to keep their revenue flowing. I don't know. It's weird because a majority of people on the internet or on YouTube don't even care about that kind of stuff. They don't care, bro. They're not a part of the gangster life, so to them it's irrelevant, right? So it makes it even now weirder, right? That they're choosing to go about it this way. You're lying. It's strange. Like, what? Like, well, why are you lying to these people, bro? These people could care less, regardless of the matters. But a person who never get caught would more respect. I don't think anybody should get respect regardless of the matter, whether they get caught or they don't get caught. That's not something why you should, respect somebody for. You would rather respect somebody because of their achievements, right? Of the fact that they came out of a tough situation, and now they made something of themselves, but legitly though, by living right, and not harming others, and educating themselves, and actually doing stuff the right way. Then like that is like something you would give somebody respect for, right? Or somebody that could teach you a skill that you can actually apply in the real world, to better yourself. That's something that you give respect for. Not because like a person robbed a bank and got away with it. I think that he will do time, but it won't be his whole life. It seems like his uh, was a willing participant on some of the activities. Now she's trying to shit blame on Luther. I know, that's what I'm saying. Don't get me wrong. What happened to her in the beating, that was bad. That was gacho, right? But she still needs to be held accountable for some of those actions, right? Especially if we're talking about, human trafficking or taking advantage of underage people, right? you know, because that's still not, it's not cool if you were participating in that though, right? Or playing a factor, right, and luring them in, you know, even worse, you know, like Epstein's, you know, partner, right? I forgot her name. Because there's actually been times where, you know, um, that's actually happened where an individual kidnaps somebody, a female, right, and you know, for years, you know, he has her, you know, enslaved and tortured, right, and she becomes a willing participant in his delusion, right, where she now is able to go out there and lure more different victims, you know, to this individual, right, even though she was a victim herself, it still doesn't excuse her behavior and her part, right, so she still has to pay the consequences for that. Which Watson's the type, and that's one of the reasons why a lot of these individuals don't come forward, because they play a part in the thing, right? So if they were to come forward, then they would burn themselves, right? And now they're gonna be like, you know, be put in the hot seat. That's why a lot of these individuals choose to stay quiet, you know, because their hands ain't so clean either, you know, because it's a lot more easier for bad behaviors to go unchecked when multiple people are engaging in those, you know, type of behaviors. It makes people a lot more easier not to be willing and participating as well. Wes Watson's the type to say what he'll do to someone on YouTube, but not actually do it. But see, where Wes Watson is, because that's his persona, that's his selling point though. That he is the manliest of men, you know, that the toughest and scariest and dangerous of them all. Diddy might do 10 to 15 years max. Oh no, yeah, he won't get life. Yeah, he's definitely not gonna get life. Yeah, he ain't getting life. He's gonna do. Oh, okay, because from what I have read, is that they found drugs in his home, right? Different types of drugs, right? Methamphetamine, marijuana, cocaine, and etc. Right? But the one that actually caught my attention, which I know that he's going to be fucked for, and it's going to be hard for his lawyer to get him out of this situation, or anybody for that matter, right? Is that they found several firearms. Well, it's America. People could have firearms. This is true. But they were illegal firearms. But hold up. That's not the worst part about it. The fact that they were illegal firearms, but they were illegal firearms with no serial numbers. They had the serial numbers removed. And you already know when you have serial numbers removed, you, or at least if you know your laws and shit like that, you are fucked, bro. You are fucked. If they catch you with a gun, with a ghost gun is what they call them, right? If they catch you with a ghost gun, you are fucked, bro. You are fucked. You know what I mean? Like, good luck. Not even the greatest lawyers will be able to get you out of that situation, right? And like I said, he had multiple, you know, weapons like that. So even if he doesn't get booked for the sex trafficking or the, you know, being, you know, casual, I would really find it hard to believe, like, okay, well, how are you gonna beat the drugs in these guns though? Especially the guns more than anything else. You know, the drugs, all right, they can let it slide and say maybe give you some rehab type shit or whatever. But them guns though, that's 15 years on itself, bro. That's like 10 or 15 years on itself. You know, because of them being ghost guns, right? If they were just to be illegal firearms, then I'd probably get like about, you know, 4 years, 5 years, you know, some shit like that, right? But like this makes it worse though. And it's like, you're a fucking idiot, dude. Like, if you felt the heat, because the heat was on him, you know, when everything was buzzing, shit, he should have at least moved those guns somewhere else, or fucking got rid of them. You know what I mean? Because you would have never known that your house was gonna get raided. But he thought that shit was never gonna happen, though. He thought it was never gonna get to that point. And it's like, so all the people that defend him, well, sorry to burst your bubble, but he's gonna have a very difficult time explaining, like, okay, well, what's the reason why you have all these ghost guns at your pad? Because they were in his room, right? From what I read, they found them in his room. So it's like, you can't even say that there's because, you know, somebody. You get what I mean? Even worse if they, you know, it has his fingerprints on it, right? And then it's like, okay, well, explain this now. If you've never seen them before, then how the fuck are your fingerprints on this? And it's like, why do you have multiple of these kind of weapons for? What were you doing with these weapons? Well, what were you planning to do with these weapons? Or what have you done with these weapons? When you're watching rappers from down south uh, or north, and in the rappers, do you see people you know in real life? Like in their videos? Yeah. You're always crying about something. Just relax. Who's always crying about something? We just merely conversating, my guy. Do you know Swifty Blue in real life or anyone from the Haunted Paramount? I know people from Paramount. I do not know Swifty. I I know people from KJ from Lefty Gunplay's neighborhood. I never met Lefty, but I know people from KJ. Yeah, I actually have homies from his neighborhood. I actually had a really close homie, from his neighborhood, but he got life. He ended up getting life. Jesus loves you. Never forget that. Repent for your sins. For my sins? How do you know I have sinned? Oh, how do you know I haven't repented? Past few days, I've been seeing people that remind me of the city I moved from recently. Orale. A catchy situation reminds me of some of these no good vatos who play victim like they were participants. Yeah, everyone's the victim now when the spotlight is towards them. He'll never do it, but he'll say it. Oh yeah, because that's his whole gimmick. That's his whole thing. I'm surprised did he have machine guns, rocket launchers, or grenades, considering he's a billionaire with so many connections. Yeah, but at the same time, when you have money, you really don't feel the need to have, like all this, artillery and weaponry, because I mean, the greatest weapon you can have is money itself, right? Because people with money could make a lot of things happen, right? You know, they don't need grenades to silence people or just to shit even people. If their enemies come gunning for them, if they put enough money on the table, shit, their enemies might even forget about their issues. En inglés. Valiendo ver. Ya sé, carnal, ya me dijiste la otra vez, ayer, antier. Pero gracias. I'm chilling at home this time, and the only thing I did today was see the new. Oh yeah, how was the new Mission Impossible movie? Oh yeah, pizza sounds pretty good. What do you think about people who say a woman out of their league because of their looks and status? Well, that's not true. You seen successful individuals, or females and males, right, who have dated people who were practically bums. Because they seen something in the person, whatever it may be. Like I said, you'll be surprised. Love works in different ways. People just can't control their emotions like that when we're talking about that kind of stuff, right? It just happens. That's why, like, I don't understand why people stress so much, like, when we're talking about the LTBGQ whatever community, right? Because it's like, well, if they want to be with that person because they truly, like them, then who gives a fuck, bro? You know, like let them be with whoever the fuck they want. Who cares? Who cares? Who truly gives a fuck, bro? In all true reality, homie. People are acting like if these people are gonna be in the fucking bed with them or some shit, right? Like if they're gonna have to be witnessing this and you know what I mean? Like like who gives a fuck, bro? You don't live with them. You ain't never gonna see these people ever again. So who gives a fuck? You know what I mean? They act like if they're gonna be fucking strapped to a chair, tied up, held their eyes open and having to witness them having sex or some shit like that. So it's like, who gives a flying fuck, bro? Truly. You know what I mean? That's how love works, and if that's what they then fuck it. Who cares? You know, it's kind of like if if you walk into a room and there's like these two gay guys kissing, it's like, why would you continue watching them? Right? Like, just look away, bro. Just fucking mind your own business, like you do it. Like if it was to be a man and a woman kissing, you're not just gonna be right there fucking staring. You know, mind your own business. Same with them. You don't gotta be fucking right there, like, hey, damn, gay, look at that. Can you believe that? Hey, and still stay right there. You know, like, okay, hey, fool, just do you, my boy. You know, they acting like if they fucking kissing him. You know, like shit. Fuck. I don't understand people, man. You know, because I have had that. Hey, look at that fucking auto. Why would I want to look at that fool? Don't fucking tell me that kind of, man. I'm over here doing my thing, chilling. You know, ain't nobody trying to look at that, my boy. You know what I mean? Shit, I'm doing me, carnal. You know, fuck them. Let them do them. It's that easy, bro. Wait, what they can't go and do? Well, bro, you don't gotta be staring at them, homie, carnal. It's that easy, bro. Just look away. Pero bien que ahí están todavía los güeyes, ¿no? ¿Te gusta o qué pedo, güey? Because I don't know. It's like, if you can't look away, my boy, I don't know. Some strange stuff going on. Do you like... Tex-Mex is better than... Nah, I never tried Tex-Mex. The homie was really... The movie was really good, and the action... Yeah, those movies are always jam-packed full of action scenes, huh? Is that the last one, though? Is it the last one, or is it still like do they still leave room for fucking, like, another one? Because this is like the fucking 20th one, no? I mean, like, when watching music videos, do you see people that look... Oh, oh, yeah, for sure. I say I don't agree with their lifestyle, and then I keep pushing. I'm not coming on social media talking about... Yeah, facts. How you doing, brother? We doing good. The woman I'm attracted to is mostly... As long as you are interested in them, that's the only thing that matters. You know, people can't be worried about trying to satisfy or what might people think of them, or, you know what I mean? Because, like, well, they're not the ones that are going to be in your situation, though. So you can't worry about what people might say or think, or how they view your significant other. You know, as long as they make you happy, that's the only thing that matters. You know, because in this world, somebody's always going to hate, bro. Somebody's always going to be out there that has something to say, bro. You're just not going to be able to satisfy the world. You know what I mean? So that's why people just shouldn't dwell on what people think and say, right? Like, just worry about doing you, because you're not going to be able to satisfy the world. You know, those who really try to spend their life trying to satisfy everybody, bro, it's just, you're never going to succeed. You know? Because there's just people out there that you just can't win with them. Like, I come on, so that's one of the mistakes a lot of people make when they come on social media. You have to come on here and understand that your opinion, that not everyone's going to agree with your opinion, and there's going to be people that are going to disagree with you, and that's perfectly fine. It's normal. It's a part of conversation. Not everybody is going to agree, and everyone's entitled to their opinions and points of views. You know, and I am aware of that. That's why I never get bothered when somebody disagrees, right? Because I don't expect the whole world to agree, and I don't expect, and, you know, I'm not walking around thinking like I know everything, right? And obviously, potentially, I could be wrong. You know? It would be stupid to walk around thinking that you're right about everything. Might be the last one, all right? The sound doesn't match the look for sure. The sound doesn't match the look for sure? What do you mean? The Final Destination is the last one for... All right. Because you know how they have the Jurassic Parks, and they already made like a million of those, and fucking... what's the final... No, Fast and the Furious. Like, man, my boy, like, shit, they ain't done those fucking movies yet. Transformers. It's because they like to stick with ideas that work already. Studios are paranoid. They're right. It's because truly nobody knows what the masses likes. The masses is very difficult to understand the masses. Because they end up putting out stuff that they think is going to be a hit, and then it ends up being a flop. They put out a movie that they think is going to be crap, and it ends up being a big hit. You truly don't understand what people are going to like and what they're not going to like. That's just, the people are unpredictable like that. That's why whenever they find something that actually works, man, bro, they milk that thing till the wheels fall off. And they, try to protect it and, cover up for that shit like no tomorrow. Because they know once, if they lose their golden goose, finding the next one is going to be, difficult, right? Because, like I said, understanding was just difficult. You look like a goon? What the hell is that? Like a goon? Like a goon? Avatar: The Last Airbender. That's funny. The power of origami. We need an IP for game movies and theme music. And I did me 30 recently, but good. It's gonna happen, bro. That's just a part of the experience, right? Just there's gonna be times where it doesn't turn out the way you want it. You know what I mean? And that's perfectly normal. It's a part of the experience, right? You're gonna get shot down, from time to time, but we should never let that hinder us or scare us away now from keep attempting, right? Or let us the experience now start to make us be bitter people, right? Or to resent them because of it. Just gotta be patient. Hi, I'm new. Well, hello there. Welcome. The new, like movies, like IPs on for games, like game movies, like, well, no, they got the Super Mario. No, they got Super Mario. Damn, they really don't have that many game movies, huh? They had a Street Fighter one. That shit was whack as fuck. Or was it the other one, the Mortal Kombat? Oh no, actually they made several. No, they had I think they even had a Doom movie. No, with fucking The Rock. Or was I tripping? Oh shit, The Rock's been on everything. Motherfucker has all kinds of movies. I'ma still hold on. Oh, because hey, my boy, that's all we can do. Have you heard about Magic Mike? That's Magic Mike. I never heard of it, bro. What happened with it? What's good, my boy? What's cracking like? Would you try skydiving if you could? Would I try skydiving if I could? Fuck no. I'm not down for fucking, relying on, man-made things when I'm plowing, to the fucking ground and having to deal with gravity. I like living life low and slow, not fucking fast and, erratic. Like, people are be crazy that be jumping out of airplanes. Like, that doesn't really seem like the most smartest or safest thing to do, right? I don't really think people were designed to just be launching themselves off of Earth. Would you go to outer space if you could? Shit, fuck yeah, in a heartbeat, bro. That shit would be dope. Just tripping out on the planet. Since I think the planet would be the only thing that we're going to be able to see from outer space. Because you really won't be able to see no stars when you're out there. Which is actually a trip. Or people be like, "Well, have you seen the moon landing? Do you see how there's no stars in the back?" Like, they're like, that's the reason why it's fake. I'm just like, did you pay attention in science class, my guy? No, you just not, or you doing this on purpose, bro? Or you just making, you're just joking, right? Like, they really had the audacity to say, "Well, they can't see no stars in the background of the footage." Like, what? Ah, and this is why education is so important. Because then you get individuals like that, and you're just like, you know what? But then, no wonder they believe in some of these conspiracy theories. Now it makes a little bit more sense, right? When they say stuff like that, because it's like, you just have no idea how anything works, huh? And it's the lack of information, right? That I guess was why they're drawn more to these conspiracies, right? Because I guess their lack of understanding of how stuff works. But when I seen that one, though, I was mind blown. I was just like, wow, that's funny. Trip. All right, ladies and gentlemen, my lunch break is over. We got to get back to it. It was good chopping it up with you guys, and we out.